Morning Fisho, Sammy here. We're out chasing the prehistoric Saratoga this morning. Now, they're an awesome sport fish, great freshwater species to go out and target. They can be a little tricky at times and they're quite hard to keep the hooks in, very hard mouths. But I'll show you what we're using to target them so you guys can get out and give it a crack yourself. Now, Saratoga, they feed on a whole variety of species. They eat bugs, they eat little fish, all manner of things. So you can chase them a heap of different ways. It really does depend on the sort of structure you're fishing and what you want to use to target them. So I'll run through all the outfits we use and then we'll have a little chat about the structure. So probably the most common way to target them is on spinnerbaits. Now spinnerbaits you can fish at any depth, at any speed, because it's just up to you. The blades spin, you can wind them fast, you can wind them slow, and they go up and down in the water column. So if you wind them super fast, they'll go just under the surface. If you slowly roll them, they'll cruise along the bottom there. So with the spinnerbaits, we usually target the standing timber and the weed edges, the hard weed edges. We cast along, and I like to keep mine pretty high in the water column. Saratoga are predominantly a surface feeder. They're always looking up, their eyes are on the top of their head, so you want to keep that presentation up in the water column so they can see it and find it. So that's spinnerbaits. Another popular one is the Lipless vibes. Now again, very similar to the spinnerbaits in the retrieve and the style of retrieve. You can retrieve them quick and they stay up high, or you can retrieve them slow and they go down the bottom. They've got a nice rattle in them as well, so they trigger a nice aggressive response. Plenty of noise, plenty of attraction. Fish come out and have a swipe at them. Now, there's a very exciting way to chase them, and that's on surface. So that's with little walk the dog style presentations or little weedless frogs. All those cool little things. They're not super fussy on what surface lure you throw. If they're in the mood and if they're feeding, they will just smash them. But same thing, nice long cast with your surface lure, walk the dog, keep a nice constant retrieve, and they'll come out and absolutely smash it. A lot of the times, if you see a boil, they actually boil on the surface. You see a boil, chuck your surface lure on top and they'll just turn around and smash it before you even get a chance to work it. So very aggressive when they're on surface. They'll definitely let you know. Now, for the more adventurous among you, you can also have a crack at them on fly. Now, obviously fly fishing is a bit more difficult, a bit more niche for whoever wants to use it, but it's great fun. Now, same thing, you can use surface flies or little subsurface flies. I've been using this little guy here. It's a little black, it's called a toad fly, and that's about, what, just shy of 3 inches long. But you can also use stuff like that there. That's a little white kind of minnow imitation, and I might even show you how to tie this in another video. It's a very useful fly. You can use it not only for toga but for bass and little cod and all that sort of stuff as well. But fly, same thing, you want to fish that how you fish your surface fly or your little subsurface. Keep it up nice and high, enticing strips, and just watch those toga come out and smash it. Now, there is one more probably presentation that would rate I mentioned, and that's small lipless hard bodies like that. Little shallow divers, so they stay up nice and high, and just give them as a really erratic retrieve. So they're zigging and zagging, and that'll usually trigger a feeding response. But same thing, you fish those in the exact same places and just keep working it, constant retrieve and constant erratic retrieve, I should say. And yeah, the fish will come out and have a go at it. So moving on to structure, if you come up here, you'll see we've positioned ourselves on this nice big lily pad bed here, and there's also some standing timber in there. Now that is prime habitat for Saratoga. They love eating all the little things that hide under the lily pads and all the frogs and stuff that skip across. So they will sit in there and they'll sit way up the back. So that's where your weedless frogs will come in handy. You can actually cast them way up out on the lily pads and skip them across. And when they go through the little gaps, the little pockets of clear water, sometimes the fish will come and smash it then. But that's where the fight begins, because then you've got to pull your fish through the lily pads. So with all your other presentations, what we'd be doing is working the edges, getting as close as we can to the edge of the lily pads and just working our lure back there. And the fish, they'll be sitting under it, they'll come out and smack it. Now, apart from the lily pads, you can also target your weed edges. So your big weed beds, they'll often go to a point and then drop right off. You drag your lures across there, it's another good spot for them. Or really thick standing timber. So you can see this tree over here. that's a prime example of standing timber that'd be worth a cast, even if that was in clear water without the lily pads there. So that's pretty well the quick rundown on how to chase Saratoga. They're an awesome fish. They've got great colours, they look cool, super good fighter as well. They jump, they do all the right things, so they're definitely worth getting out and having a crack for. But we got to get a few more casts in before we head home. Hope you guys get out there and have a chase yourself. Good luck, catch ya. Well, that's not really the size we had in mind, Harry, but it's good to get on the board, mate. Give us a look at him. Look at this little cutie.
On the board, laughing.
Oh well, just find his bigger brother, mate.